I think we can get started. So thank you all for being here for this workshop on how to use A11yInspect, which is Barrier Break's browser extension, as efficiently as possible. I'll start by introducing myself. My name is Abhay Kapur. I'm the Director of Product here at Barrier Break, and my main role encompasses building, accessibility products that help enterprises implement accessibility at scale. Along with me, I have Fahad Lambate, who is our VP of Digital Accessibility. I'll just hand it over to him as well for a minute to introduce himself. Fahad, if you can just introduce yourself.
Sure. Thanks, Abhay. Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are joining. So my name is Fahad Lambate, and I am VP of Digital Accessibility in Barrier Break. Uh, my major roles and responsibility, I'll say, is to ensure the quality across the team is up to the mark. And when it comes to ensuring that the technical aspect is also met as per the client requirement. So I'm also an IWP CPWA certified professional. So thanks all for joining, and back to you, Abhay.
Yeah. Thanks, Fahad. So we'll start by just looking at the agenda for today and some general housekeeping. So the first thing I would like to mention to everyone is that this meeting is being recorded. So the fact that you are attending means that you have consented to that. Secondly, if you do require, you can turn on live captions for the meeting. Lastly, if you have any questions, you can type them either into the Q&A pane or you can wait towards the end of the section where we have a dedicated 5 to 10 minutes for any questions that anyone may have. Right, so the agenda will be as follows. I'll give you all a brief about Barrier Breaks since not everyone here may know about our organization. Then I'll talk a bit about why we actually came up with, creating, why we, invented of came up with A11yInspect actually. And then Fahad will dive into the demo where he will be giving a more practitioner's approach to using the tool, as well as giving you all some tips on how, you can use it as efficiently as possible. And lastly, we will have a Q&A. Uh, so about Barrier Break. Barrier Break so as an organization, we are pioneers in digital accessibility with 20 plus years of expertise. We currently have a team of 300 plus professionals and experts in regards of accessibility. Traditionally, we were always a service-based company. However, what we realized is that there was a gap in the market where we could build some products that could benefit all users. And that's why we decided to use that 20 plus years of expertise and actually build some products and tools that help organizations implement accessibility. And over these 20 years, we've serviced, small to medium enterprises to Fortune 500 companies across the globe. So now coming to why we actually came about creating A11yInspect, right? Because there are some other browser extensions available in there. So what actually sets us apart? The first thing that I would like to highlight that sets us apart is our rule set. So A11yInspect actually has got a proprietary rule set that's been written by us at Barrier Break. We have not used any open source rule set that is currently available in the market. The biggest reason for that being that the open source rule sets that were available, what we noticed were not actually being kept up to date most of the time in regards of changing technologies, changing guidelines, right? So there wasn't much being done to ensure that the coverage of those tools was actually increasing. And also there was not much being done to make sure that the false positives within those tools were reducing. So currently A11yInspect has 600 plus automated checks with less than 1% of false positives. Although the results are grouped according to the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, or WCAG, as a lot of you may know, you can test against a variety of global standards within A11yInspect. So you can test for Section 508, EN 301549, and also the Indian standards such as GIGW 3.0 and IS 17802. A11yInspect also provides a very detailed analysis of all of the issues. So one thing we've done is not only highlighted all the problems on the website, which we call fails, but we've also highlighted validates. Validates are certain types of issues, which even Fahad will highlight during the demo, that someone just needs to go in and check very quickly. Right. A lot of us know that accessibility is subjective and, some things need manual review. And we highlight all of those kinds of issues for you as validates. And we don't even stop just at WCAG. We also provide you with suggestions, which are basically best practices that allow you to go above and beyond WCAG to ensure that your digital asset is not just compliant to a guideline, but is actually inclusive and usable by all users. Lastly, Ali Inspect is not a tool that we developed specifically for, a certain role within the STLC process. So it's not only meant for QA testers or developers. What we've ensured is that Ali Inspect can be used by everybody in a product development team. So whether you're a product manager, a designer, or, a developer, everyone can benefit from its various features. For example, for a designer, we have an inbuilt color contrast checker, we provide a CSS overview, and we also have an inbuilt CSS unit converter. Along with that, we've also tried to avoid a lot of technical jargon in regards to a lot of the issues, thereby making it simpler for anyone that's even new to accessibility to use the tool and understand the issues that are being flagged. Now, coming to some of the main pro features that we will be highlighting within this workshop. So the first one is that you have a dashboard to view your scan logs, right? With the Pro subscription, you can also download screenshots of your issues and an accessibility audit report in various formats such as Excel, HTML, as well as a JSON. We have a very cool feature that will be highlighted, which is called node testing, that allows you to test a specific element on a web page. And lastly, we also have a feature called pause script that Fahad will be showing you all. So at this point, I will hand it over to Fahad to actually give you all a demo of the tool.
Sure. Thanks, Abhay. So as soon as you install the the extension of Ali Inspect, it will go into your extension manager, right? The extension. Once you activate the extension, what I would suggest is just pin it to your extension bar so that you can easily use it. The reason behind is Ali Inspect has majorly three parts to it. I like to call it three parts because two are the important part which will help you when it comes to testing, and the third part which as Abhay mentioned, it is about the dashboard that you will have as well, which will consist of the scan logs. So when it comes to bookmarklets, these are nothing but which will help you to test help you in support testing the manual way, because obviously when it comes to accessibility testing, it cannot be just automated. It needs to have a manual as aspect as well. So what in order to access the bookmarklet, what you have to do is once you have pinned the Ali Inspect, so you can activate that in the extension bar. And once you activate it, it will have a bookmarklets drop down. So this bookmarklet drop down consists of around 15 bookmarklets. So I'll demo you some of them in the interest of time. Some of the favorites of mine, I would like to say it in that way. So one is headings. Definitely, this is the most common issue that you will find on a page. That when it comes to a missing heading markup, or when you want to see what is the heading hierarchy used on the page, right? So if I just activate headings, what it will basically do is it will basically visually highlight all the headings on the page, apart along with adding the edge tag heading tags that are used for those content. So there is a head. I have, for this demo purpose, I have used an accessible university page, which is created by Duke Edu. So once I activate that heading bookmarklet, all the headings used on the page have been highlighted. So there is an H6 which is given for a December one. There is another H5 which is used for a great holiday event. So this itself tells me the heading hierarchy on the page is not correct. There are a lot of text on the page which appears to be a heading, like there is, can you spot this barriers, and there is a content associated with that. There is AU enrollment trends, and there is a table associated to that particular title. So in so this heading bookmarklet will help you to quickly gauge those kind of issues quickly. And a couple of other bookmarklets I would like to highlight is also the page title bookmarklet. So if you activate that page title, it will just highlight it on the page itself, and it will tell you that what is the title. It's the title is before accessible university demo site in accessible version, right? So another one is when it comes to images. So this will highlight all the images with the if it is having an alt attribute or not. If it is not having an alt attribute, it will immediately tell you that missing alt attribute is there. So there are some images on the web page. There is a accessible university logo itself, which is not having an alt text. So it is telling you it's missing alt attribute. If there are any like decorative images or used for presentation purposes, so it will also highlight those. So one of the image it talks about as alt given horizontal line graphic. This will quickly help you during your manual testing. Even when it comes to a missing list markup, which is also quite common issues across the web pages. So if you just activate that list, it will tell all the list markup used on the web page. If there is any missing list that is used, that will also be highlighted. So one of the instance on this particular page is there is a Facebook and a Twitter logo over here used, image name markup, but it is not having the container itself. So I can identify this quickly using this bookmarklet, right? Otherwise, I will have to inspect the code, check what is the code given for the list, and then take a decision accordingly. Another one which I would like to highlight the bookmarklet is text spacing. So basically, the text spacing bookmarklet is one of the requirement as per WCAG, and the minimum requirement that is listed success criteria. It is designed based on that. It will apply a customized style on the web page, and it will basically provide additional spaces between the text, which will help you to determine if there is any text that is getting cut off or overlapped, or any text is that is not getting spaced out. So this will help you in testing that particular success criteria. So these are some of the things that I can say which will help you in manual testing. Another pain point, especially when I used to test a lot of website, is missing focus indicator for the interactive elements. Like the issue used to arise, I used to dwell that okay where my focus is currently on. So this will help you to provide a additional post focus even if that particular element is not having a visual focus indicator. It will forcefully provide an focus indicator to that particular element. And if I, for example, tap on the page, it will have a red outline which is highlighted, and that is what the force focus will do. And you can easily tap through all the element and see which particular elements receive keyboard focus, which is missing the keyboard focus, and so on. So this is one of the thing Bookmarklet does, right? The second part of this particular A11yInspect extension is once you inspect the page, and go into the DOM panel, under the elements panel, there will be different tabs like styles, computed, event listener. So it sits in that specific section of the panel. And once you activate that A11yInspect, it will present you with a few tabs like test, structure, contrast checker, CSS overview, CSS unit converter. So these are all the tabs that it will present you with. On the test tab, there is element drop down and the guidelines drop down. So what does it do basically is, as I was mentioning earlier, some of you all might have a different approach of testing. So you might want to just test for a heading first, or you might just want to test for an images, right? You want to do a targeted testing. So you can do that by selecting the element type. If you want to just test for a single A guideline or double A guideline, if you don't want to go to 2.2, but you want to stick to 2.1. So this is possible using the guidelines drop down. So in the for this demo purpose, I'll keep it on all elements, and I'll keep the guideline as Vicar 2.2 AA, and I'll hit the test page. Once I hit the test page, it will quickly scan and give you the results. And the tabs will change a bit. So now you'll have tabs like overview, fails, validate, and then suggestions, structure tab, and the contrast CSS overview and CSS unit converter remains the same. So in overview tab, it gives you a quick overview that how many issue types the tool has found. Okay, it will categorize into fails and validates as well. So this particular page has around 17 issue types and 51 instances for that. right? Similarly, the validates on this page are around 14 issue types and 17 instances for that. It will also tell you which WCAG level performance it is failing as well, how many issues are there. So here it talks about like, there are 29 fails at level A and 22 fails at, similarly, the validates are 12 at level A and 5 at. So this is what the overview tab does. And when you go to the fails tab, these are all the sure shot failures. When you come to this tab, you will find, again, this is bifurcated into two sections, WCAG level A conformance and WCAG double A conformance. Okay, and it will have a table which will consist of ID, attribute, element type, WCAG success criteria, and the screenshot. And each particular rows will be expandable. And once you activate any of the issues that has been listed in this table, it will give you more information about that issue. So for example, let's see missing image description. So this tells me there are 3 issues, and it will also tell me that this is a critical issue. So this severity is based on what barrier break feels that the severity should be a blocker, critical, major, or minor. In this case, if I want to see quickly that for which image the description is missing, I'll just click on the ID that is associated with that particular instance, and it will take me to that particular image. So it's really easy, and I can see in the DOM itself because it sits in DOM. So you can actually map the issues side by side against the code which it is failing, right? So, and there is an one unique attribute column I'll speak about later in the validates, because over there it will be more effective. Over fails also it will be effective, but over invalidates it will be really effective when you're using that attribute column. Here also in attribute column, if you see, it is guiding you that okay, it's missing an alt tag. And it is also telling you which success criteria it is failing. Currently it's failing 1.1.1. And even as Abhay was mentioning earlier, that you can even download the image for it, a screenshot for it. And by the way, if I have not told you this, this is completely accessible. The tool itself is accessible. The bookmarklets that you use will be accessible. So this is the most important thing I'll say of a tool, that when you're designing a tool, it needs to be accessible, right? And this download feature also helps my visually impaired friends who can easily download the screenshot with a highlight of that particular instance as well. If you're working in an internal team and you're a tester finding out issues and you want to quickly pass on that screenshot to a developer, so it will come handy, this particular feature. So if I just click on download, so it will download the image, and if I open that specific image, so this is the image that I have downloaded for the issue, and you will see that it is highlighting that specific instance as well in the image, right? So this is great. I can use it as it is in my bug report as well, if I'm creating a quick bug report and sharing it with the devs as well, right? So there are other issues also that obviously it is showing. It is telling me that the page has no main landmark, right? The headings levels are skipped. It is telling me which headings levels are skipped. So it is telling me H5, H4, H3, H2. All these are the headings that are skipped on the page. If there is any particular table used on the page, here there was a table and it was missing a header, right? So it is telling me even that as well. So if I click on it, it will take me to that particular table, and I can just delve into the code, and I can see that okay, this table is not having any kind of a header, right? So this is what the fails will tell you, all the sure shot failures. Also, when it comes to double A conformance, so color contrast, one of the most painful thing for me when it comes to color contrast is finding the hex codes. Okay, finding the hex code, what is the point, what is the size of that particular text. So this tool tells me okay, this is a 4.47 right now, and even the ratio, it will tell you that it's a 4.47:1 ratio. The size is 12 point. It will tell you the foreground and the background hex code as well. This is something which makes my life much more easy as a tester, because I can easily share this information in my report. I can easily show this information to my developer or the required point of contact who I want to share, right? So apart from this, when I come to validate, I was talking about the attribute column, right? So this validates, obviously, as I was saying, when it comes to accessibility, it cannot be just automated. There has to be human intervention. So this validates are nothing but wherein you can quickly validate if these are issues or not. So for example, if I had to look at the image descriptions, so if I activate that issue, it will expand me the instance, and it will tell me in the attribute column what is the alt provided. So this is the same alt we saw earlier, which says horizontal line graph. So this gives me an indication that definitely something is wrong with this particular image, because it cannot have such kind of an alt text for sure. So I can quickly validate it, and I can click on this image. I can go to it. I can see that this is just the separator that is having this kind of an alt text, right? And I can take a quick decision on this. Another thing is when it comes to links, if they are descriptive or not, you can just see what is the visual label provided, like before an accessible name is also stating as before version with problems and after version with problems. So this means link texts are descriptive enough. It is telling me what that particular link is all about. So I can quickly say, okay, this is not a failure currently. Now, when it comes to any particular text which is supposed to be a heading, right? It will even detect that in the validate, and it will recommend that. So if I click on this events text, it will take me to that particular text, and it will tell me that, okay, check if this text should be a heading. So I can quickly do that. So this is really helpful for me when I'm testing manually, and it will increase my effectiveness and my speed as well. So let's move on to suggestions quickly. So suggestions are nothing but the best practices that you will find on a page, which are not especially a WCAG failure. So this is one of the best practice stating about skip to main content link is not the first civil element of the web page, right? Another tab is a structure tab. So this is something which I can say will help you also to determine, because it shows all the landmarks and the headings used. The color contrast checker, it will tell you, this is basically a color contrast playground for you. You can put the hex codes the current value that you can put is say RGB, RGBA. So this basically also allows you to put the colors which has certain opacity, right? You can put the hex code and get the results over here. Even it will tell you some of the color suggestions. If any particular color contrast is failing, it will tell you that color suggestions as well over here. Another tab is CSS overview tab. Basically, this tells you what are the colors used on the web page, what are the fonts used, the font size used, fonts family used, basically, and give you that all information. If you're a designer, this is helpful for you, because it will also give some variations wherein which of the text contrast will fail against the foreground and background color, and which are the colors to avoid combination. Another important thing is when you're testing, when you're testing for a color contrast requirement, all the requirement we test in point format. So the text should be in point, but most of the time you will see the text is in different formats. Like it might be in pixels, it might be in rem, em, and so on. So you can quickly use this converter to convert the pixel to points or any other unit type you want to convert it. So this is all about I can say the different things A11yInspect do. The additional feature that you will get is if I want to share a report with someone. So as Abhay was mentioning, this is one of the pro feature as well, apart from the screenshot. So you can download it in different formats. So if I use download as Excel, it will just download the report in Excel format, and it will give me all the tabs over here, fails, validates, and suggestions. And you will get issue type, element type, code, attribute, conformance level, and WCAG success criteria as well. Pro feature provides you is obviously the way to download in HTML as well. So this will be consisting of the same kind of a layout. It will have the same kind of a table as you were seeing in the A11yInspect automated results as well, where will be table about attribute elements, code success criteria, severity, and you can easily share this HTML file with someone. You can also download it in a JSON format, and you can share it with someone who wants in that format. So now, when it comes to one of the other thing of A11yInspect is you can use the pause script feature, which is available in the Pro version again. So if you might, I'm sure you might have come across certain elements which are quite dynamic in nature. So I'm using this one of the internal demo page that we have created. So over here, I'm trying to click on the contact link. And if I want to see, what is the code used to define this text field that is present, and I'm trying to right click, but oops, suddenly the dialog disappears. So now how I can test or check this particular dialog, right? So what I can do is I can do inspect. I can go to A11yInspect and I'll click on pause script feature and I'll activate that contact us dialog and I will wait for A11yInspect to do its magic. So what it does, it will pause the script. Now the dialog remains on the screen. I can use the inspect feature and I can just inspect the code that I want to inspect. Right. So any dynamic updates, any such weird JavaScript behaviors, which is not allowing you to access the code. This is something which is about pause script. Another interesting feature, you might want to do certain targeted testing on the web page. Maybe, for example, if you are working on a project or if you're working on a particular component and you want to test that specific component on the. So what I can do is I can go to my A11yInspect. I'll just refresh this results and I can go to the choose element section. Okay, so this is the node testing which Abhay was talking about. So now if I want to just test the footer of the page, most of the time we do that, right? The repetitive elements on the page. So what I can do is I can inspect that particular part and then I can click on select element. It will capture that node completely and then I can just hit on test element. It will then test for that specific section only and give you the results. So isn't it wonderful that I don't have to see all the page results? It has basically filtered out all the fails, validates, and pass on that specific section. So I can just focus on those area of the web page. So this is something about A11yInspect. I can say the last part, if I were to tell you, is the dashboard. So here the dashboard, so I'll just refresh it quickly so it can get the latest results. So whatever I have scanned so far, right? So it is recording and logging how many fails validates. So if you want to see your own progress as well, fixed based on the earlier version of that specific page, you can run a scan and after fixing, you can run a scan again and see if those fails are decreasing. Basically the total issues are decreasing or not. Right, the aim would be to go to zero fails. That will be your first, I can say steps towards making your website accessible. So yeah, I guess this is what A11yInspect is. This is what the magic it does. So some of the quick tips, or I can say to sum up how A11yInspect will help you. Remember, each of us has a different approach to test, right? So you need to strategize your approach. You need to see what you want to focus first. So ideally, you should focus fails first because that are the sure shot failures and you can get it out of the way, right? After that, you need to go and focus on the manual aspects of the accessibility and you can go to the validates and over there you can utilize the attribute field to debug those issues effectively. After that, you can go to the bookmarklet and you can continue your manual checks accordingly. Like missing list markup, which I told you, it was easy find using just that list. Right? Set your process if you want to test all elements at a time. If just a beginner, you can go for element wise basis as well. And you can, if you want to isolate your testing, you can use the node testing feature that we just shown. And remember, I know it's very minute, but CSS unit converter helps because most of the time we forget that we have to test for color contrast in point unit and not pixel or REM. So that will definitely help you. Okay, so back to you, Abhay.
Thank you for that, Fahad. I think it was extremely insightful. Now, I think we'll jump into the questions since there are only 4 minutes remaining. We can stay over a bit longer as well if required, but just in the interest of time. So we already do have a couple of questions that have been popped into the chat. So the first one was from Joe, which is basically he's requesting, please could you explain all the various privacy setting options, such as allowing the Ali Inspect to change all your data on websites. This sounds a bit alarming to me, but I'm new to this kind of tool. Yeah, so Joe, I think that's a fair concern, but the reality is that this is very common for a lot of browser extensions, which require the ability to scan the page as well as alter some of the code simply for us to highlight certain issues or elements. So, for example, the highlight issue feature, where when you click on the ID, it will highlight it visually for you. The bookmarklets, etc. So, that is actually something that would be, quite that is something that's quite common in the industry. And also, secondly, what I would assure you is that we actually do not store any source code when you're using just the browser extension. It runs locally on your device. The only information that is actually stored is what is visible to you on the dashboard, which is simply which URL was tested for which elements and what the overall count of the issues was. Yes, basically they are temporary. So we do not, record any of those changes. We're not logging anything. So we're not because like keystroke logging, for example, is a completely different permission that you would have to request for. The next question we had in the chat was yeah, but there's also one from Doug earlier on that wasn't in the Q&A pane, but in the actual chat. So Doug's
Okay.
asking, how does this tool vary from Andy or Wave in terms of what it can do and that those cannot? So I think a lot of the features that are, unique to our tool were highlighted by Fahad in the demo. But I think the first thing that sets us apart is actually our rule set. Again, something I would like to reiterate because it is something completely unique and has more accuracy. So it detects more issues than any other tool out there. We've also done a study wherein we've compared, we tested the same three web pages using multiple different tools from the industry, and Ali Inspect actually performed the best out of any of them in terms of number of issues detected and how few the false positives were. Along with that, so I won't specifically go into exactly what those tools do. I would rather talk more on the lines of what Ali Inspect can do, right? So one thing that sets us apart is that we're actually within the dev tools, unlike Wave and Andy. So that allows you to see a lot of the code along with the issues, making it a lot more easier for you to see where the problem actually lies, and you can also use it very effectively to just debug some of the issues within the browser itself. You can just edit the HTML code within your DOM, rescan the page, see if the issue actually went. That's something that cannot really be done, using the other tools that you mentioned. Also, Andy has a lot of bookmarklets, and Wave has a lot of visual identification of issues. But I think what we're trying to do is almost kind of combine the best of both in a way where we provide you with a lot of bookmarklets as well, but we also have a lot of the automated testing, and not just from a visual highlighting of issues perspective, but actually from a slightly more technical perspective from within your dev tools, right? So that's like the overall way that I would distinguish ourselves from those tools and all the additional features.
The major part you gave away, that it's our own rule set. You will see most of the tools utilizing some of the other rule sets that are freely available. So this is a proprietary one, and we'll keep on updating those as the changes come in the WCAG requirements, and it will keep on getting added more as the WCAG evolves, because we know WCAG evolves a lot. So
Fahad, I think maybe you can answer Amit's question. So he's asking,
yeah,
as per WCAG SC 2.1,
yeah,
WCAG
1.3.
2.1, SC
Yeah,
1.3.1, yeah. Regarding
yeah.
missing unordered list markup, how can this tool help analyze and identify locations where proper list markup should be applied?
Yeah. So see, one of the things I'll say, it's a tool. It's scanning certain things, so it won't highlight where that particular list markup is required. But as an accessibility expert, we might have the knowledge that okay, if something is appearing to be a related items, right, on a web page. So, for example, you might see most of the time social media images or icons linked in the footer section. So they are related to each other, right? And most of the time they are supposed to be within a list structure. So when you use the bookmarklet of list, it will highlight all the content on the web page, which is currently coded using a list markup, right? And when you see that that particular element is missing that list markup, that is your identifier that, okay, this particular element is not defined within a list, and that's the issue that you can flag. Similarly, most of the time, developers tend to use just bullets through the style sheets and give you the list of points, but it might not be marked using a appropriate list structure. So even in that case, it will highlight everything else which is in a list currently coded, and it will miss out what is not coded in it. So that will be the giveaway that okay, this are supposed to be within a list markup.
Yeah, Joe, go ahead.
Oh, just can I ask how important it is to understand the source code? Because I would need to do some training in that, I think. How much benefit do you think there would be in getting training in that?
Yeah. So far, basically, the question is how helpful do you think it would be if somebody puts in some time to learn how to analyze code?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I believe it will be quite beneficial because, as an accessibility, you need to understand that whatever is there in the code, that will be rendered by any assistive technology, be it screen reader or be it any assistive technology, like even switch device for that matter. So if the HTML is defined correctly in the source code, and you are able to understand how that particular element is coded and how that element should be coded. So that's where it will be helpful, and you can find those accessibility challenges easily. Because no, when it comes to accessibility, it's not just about finding the bugs, it's also about understanding the root cause of why that particular bug exists and how we can resolve those bugs. So that's where understanding source code will be a really important aspect to do it.
Thanks. That's great. Thanks.
I think Vicky had a question as well.
Yeah, now I may have missed this at the beginning, but which part of was all of the demo session with the free version, or are you using your pro version in any part of your demonstration?
So we were using the Pro version. So a couple of features that are unique to the Pro version that were highlighted during the demo is, the ability to download screenshots, wherein even the issue is itself highlighted with the red outline within the screenshot. The ability to download a report in the various formats such as Excel, HTML, JSON. No, the node testing feature that is very useful, as Fahad demonstrated, to test any global elements or any specific components on a web page, as well as the pause script feature, which is really helpful when you're doing manual testing of any dynamic content. So I think these four features especially are very helpful, and those are only available in the Pro version. But the basic
Okay.
scanning is available in the free version.
Sure. Thank you. I didn't make that correlation, but thank you for clarifying that.
No problem. However, I'd like to again thank you all for attending, and thank you, Fahad, for such an amazing demo. Lastly, if you all do have any questions, you can just reach out to me directly. My email ID is abhay@barrierupdate.com. So in case you have any questions or any challenges when installing the tool, you all can just drop me a mail, and I'll be more than happy to, resolve those.
I guess thanks everyone, and thanks for joining. Hope this demo helps you.